Hello everyone, Lucky here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my Week 3 Team Builder and Battle versus Zicofool. As you can see, again, no special graphics. At this point, I'm beginning to think that that's probably not going to happen. Real life gets in the way. This is just something I'm doing for fun because I like uh, sharing my thoughts and videos. So it's nothing going to be too fancy. If I have time, I'd like to get them up. If I don't, whatever. This seems to be working fine. I, like I said, I just like sharing my thoughts. So, with that, we can get into the team builder and discussing my opponent's team for this week. Once again, this is after the team builders taking place actually after the battle happened, because I didn't have recording stuff available when I was playing the battle. Um, yeah, but I remembered that, hey, I can just zoom in rather than having a snipping tool. So here we'll go through my opponent's team. He has Poltergeist, the Glass Trier, Landorus T, Mega Heracross, Porygon 2, Hatterene, Celesteela, Incineroar, Gastrodon, Jolteon, and Meme Tree. So as you can see from this team, probably thinking the same thing I am. This is a Trick Room team, for the most part, and my team is not super. It's a really good team, obviously, but it's not super inducive to handling Trick Room. So that's going to be interesting. Hopefully, keep that from getting up. The biggest threats I see on this team are Poltergeist if it sets up, that could be annoying. Glacier hits hard, and if Trick Room gets up, that could be big deal. Landorus T I know is coming. Um, it's his best rocker. Might be his only rocker. Yeah, I think it's his only rocker, which I have a Charizard Y, so most people are probably going to try to bring rocks every week. Mega Heracross, obviously, very threatening, hits hard. P2, I'm pretty sure is coming. It's just annoying. I need to figure out how to deal with that. My team also doesn't have a lot of knockoff in general. I think Venusaur is the only thing that gets knockoff on this team, so I may have to look into that eventually for the future. It also sets Trick Room, which I think against my team would be a good option for him to try to set. Um, Hatterene is annoying. Celesteela, I'm not sure if it's going to come or not. I have to prepare for it. It's annoying. I do have the Mega Charizard Y and the um, Tapu Koko that he might be worried about. Um, yeah, I don't think Meme Tree is coming, but whatever, it could. And then I think either one of Jolteon or Gastrodon is coming. Um, in fact, I could see him bringing Lando T, Gastrodon, and Jolteon, depending on how much he's worried about that Tapu Koko and having all of the electric communities. So overall, this team's kind of interesting to prep for because um, normally I go about like trying to outspeed the entire team, which I can do pretty easily here, but he might try to underspeed and set up Trick Room. So that's something to be concerned about. So with that, let's get into the team I will be bringing. So first up, we're going to bring the Tapu Koko Modest with Wise Glasses. Now, I wasn't sure the item for this. For those of you who don't know, Wise Glasses boosts the special attack moves by 1.1 power. That's not a lot, but the other items, Expert Belt wasn't super useful because um, there's not actually a lot that I'm hitting super effectively. Um, I didn't want specs because I considered Gastrodon a possibility, and I didn't necessarily want to predict with Gas. Not if I went for a Thunderbolt and Gastrodon switched and I wanted the ability to change moves, and I didn't want Life Orb because I thought I would be pivoting around a lot and that would wear me down quickly. So I was thinking maybe Sugar Berry to lure Lando in, but I did calcs, and Gleam is not even a 2-hit KO. Wise Glasses lets it be a chance to have a 2 KO. So I wanted Wise Glasses and Modest just to get a little bit of that extra power. And the reason I went for Modest is because with his team, the only thing that can, outspeed or to speed tie with Coco is that Jolteon. And I speed tying it to me wasn't worth it. So I figured I'd just throw a bunch more in bulk and have a lot more power. So hopefully I could do some damage to the Jolteon if it comes down to a 1v1. Next set I have is the Corviknight, and I'm running a setup set with Iron Head, Body Press, Bulk Up, and Roost with leftovers. Probably could have won Raconberry for the Jolteon, but looking at this, I think this is a pretty good set because his only real... he's mostly physical attackers. And so his only real threats to a setup 1 are that Jolteon, because I don't know if Mystical Fire can even 2-hit KO from Hatterene, and same with Porygon 2 with his Thunderbolt. The only way would be if P2 gets a download boost, but I EV'd most of my mons if I could, if they were close, to have a higher SPDAF than defense, and so P2 should be getting the attack boost. I was between just Iron Defense and Bulk Up for the Body Press, because Body Press will probably be my main move that I'm clicking to deal with the team, but I changed it because I needed the +1 to do some real damage to Hatterene with Iron Head, and also the Mega Heracross, because I'm not running flying coverage on this, and that's because flying doesn't really do much besides for the Mega Heracross that Iron Head doesn't. Like, I get Iron Head, Iron Head, Iron Head, Iron Head fine, Brave would hit it harder. Body Press, Iron Head, Body Press after setting up, Body Press, I guess Body Press, Body Press. So Body Press is going to be the main attacking move. It beats most things 1v1 on the team, so yeah, that's also going to help with Porygon 2, hopefully, because that's going to be a pain. Next, I have my Lucky Coon Suicune set, which is basically the same as last week with the Calm Mind Skull, Toxic, and Rest. His Water does a pretty good job on his team besides the Gastrodon. So hopefully after setup I could just click Scald and go in on that. And then I have Toxic for the Gastrodon, and also for the P2 if I'm not set up enough. Yeah. Hitmontop is here for a couple reasons. First, P2, I need some fighting coverage to deal with that P2 because otherwise I could just sit there and do nothing. So that's what Close Combat's there for. Triple Axle's there, obviously, for the Lando T. Rapid Spin's there because I need to help Charizard Y out so I could get rocks off the field if they get up. Also because, as you can see, Bulk Up's other move, there's potential that I could just set up a Bulk Up and Rapid Spin, and then just, because Rapid Spin gives the speed boost now, I can go ahead and have it be kind of like a setup sweeper, which is kind of cool. This is the first mon I've really kind of gone in depth a little bit more with the EVs in, so I'll explain that. Basically, I just 248 HP, just give the most bulk possible, and most of my things are 248 because I want the odd number, just for rocks or even spikes, just in case. And then I want it to be pretty bulky, or as bulky as possible, especially on the special side. But I also wanted to make sure I could do enough damage. And I believe this EV spread was that at +1 with a bulk up, I triple axle does 50% to a max HP Hatterene with no defense investment. And I think that's what I chose to do for the EVs, because other than that, I think it was going to only be like 36 to get the other KOs with close combat that I needed. So yeah, and then the rest in Sped F just because I wanted more special bulk, and I don't need to put it in defense because I could potentially click a bulk up. Next we have Mega Charizard Y, who can do a lot of damage to this team. It doesn't have a lot of fire resists, so that'll be fun. I wanted that as a secondary option to deal with Celesteela, other than Tapu Koko. So that's good. Also deals with Glass Cheer decently. Mega Heracross, and yeah, his only fire resist is he has Incineroar and Gastrodon, and then P2 could maybe tank a Fire Blast or two Fire Blasts depending on rolls, but for the P2 I have Toxic, so hopefully my plan is that I'll bring Charizard in, click Fire Blast on something, he'll switch in the P2 to try to take that hit, and then I can get him with a surprise Toxic and get the P2 on a timer, which is the main goal. Roost for longevity, and then Solar Beam to hit the Gastrodon. I could have gone with Scorching Sands. I decided that hitting the Gastrodon was more important than hitting the Incineroar. So maybe that's a mistake. I don't know. Could have gone Scorching Sands, but yeah, Solar Beam was the fourth move of choice. And then make his first appearance of the season. Also, I have Spirit Tomb. This is an interesting set. I went with a Nasty Plot set, a max Sped F, max HP, max attack, modest, and then as low of speed I can get for the possible Trick Room. Yeah, so, and then the other moves, Toxic and Taunt, both of these are this is meant to be partially my P2 check, partially my you're not going to get up Trick Room set. So I think I would probably, depending on the team he brings, it's a potential lead that I'm going to do, and if he has something that could quick Trick Room, I can hit Taunt right away. If not, I can just Nasty Plot up and get some damage off. Dark Pulse I did because it doesn't have any immunities on the team. It's between Dark Pulse and Shadow Ball. Maybe Shadow Ball is the choice because it could have hit Hatterene super effectively, but I wanted to be able to do something to P2 other than just Toxic it. So that was why I ended up going Dark Pulse. So that is the team for this week, and let's get into the battle. Alright, getting into the battle. So first thing from I see from his team is no Celesteela, and he also brought the P2 Hatterene and Glacier. So I'm thinking he's probably going to set up a Trick Room to start, or try to get rocks up with Lando. Those are what I'm thinking might be the potential leads. I also noticed that he did bring Jolteon, but he didn't bring Gastrodon, and so I just have to worry about the Lando T and Jolteon for my Tapu Koko to be able to be free to click electric moves. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with Spiritomb as a set in the team builder, because I think that P2 might be a lead. They could potentially prevent getting Trick Room up with it. So he actually leads Jolteon. And here I'm predicting a Volt Switch, and I'm pretty bulky. I kind of also want to scout what set he has. So I'm just going to stay in and set up a Nasty Plot for whatever comes in. So he goes ahead and clicks Volt Switch as he switched out in a Hatterene, which is a balloon, and I set up a Nasty Plot. I'm guessing the balloon is for Garchomp. So seems to have prepped pretty heavily for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click my Dark Pulse here. I expect to outspeed because I figured that Hatterene would be min speed for Trick Room. But he is not, and that does a decent amount of damage with the Draining Kiss. So I am actually pretty glad he went for that instead of like Dazzling Gleam or something would have killed me, and I wouldn't have got any damage off. But yeah, I guess he didn't expect me to do anything for Trick Room, so he didn't bother going min speed. I don't know, worked out for him. Obviously, I don't want to stay in here. Spirit Tomb could still have some use to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch out to my Charizard because I don't think he's going to click his Psychic move. I wouldn't do it because Spirit Tomb's immune to it. And so either he's going to click Draining Kiss again to kill it, or he's going to predict the Corviknight switch and go for a Mystical Fire, both of which Charizard Y resists. So I'm going to switch into that. As he does go for the Draining Kiss, that does very little. So I'm going to Mega up here and click my Fire Blast. And I do. And I'm pretty sure that's the low roll on P2. I think it did like something like 44 to 56, I think was the roll for max sped FP2. So that's a little unfortunate, but that's fine. I'm just going to do what I said I was going to do with Teambuilder and go ahead and click Toxic here and hope it doesn't miss. And it does not. It recovers up, but that P2 is poisoned now, so that's good. I'm going to switch out and go to Spirit Tomb as he teleports out into Jolteon. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and let my Spirit Tomb die as he clicks Weather Ball. That's an interesting tech. I guess that's worked out because I have the Charizard Y. After the game, I talked to him and found out that he also had Rain Dance on this set, so that would have been useful. But here I go into Hitmontop, and I thought for a little bit about clicking my Triple Axle, predicting the Lando T to come in, but I see now in this team that Jolteon could potentially be a problem. And so I just want to try to get off as much damage on Jolteon as possible. So I just go for the close combat here. Unfortunately, he does switch into the Lando, and that does almost nothing. So here I switch into Corviknight because Lando can't touch it. Unfortunately, he makes a nice double into Jolteon. So here I'm just predicting that, hey, he's going to think I'm going to switch out and just go for the Volt Switch. I can tank one of those. I can roost up. And Jolteon's really the only thing that he brought that can really do damage on Corviknight if I set up, because Incineroar is physical. So setup should be able to take that. So he does go for the Volt Switch, and I do go for the Roost. So I almost brought, Mirror Armor on this. Maybe that would have been better. I forgot that because I almost brought Mirror Armor just for the Lando T. I honestly forgot that he also had Incineroar for some reason. And if I had Mirror Armor, that would have been cool because he'd come in and intimidate the Incineroar. But whatever. So here I just go for the bulk up on the Incineroar to try to be able to take a Flare Blitz or something, but he just goes for the taunt. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I can take a Flare Blitz now, so I go for a Body Press as he goes for the Swords Dance. I'm like, okay. And with the leftover recovery, that puts him in a range that if he is what I calced for with the damage for the first Body Press, that this is a roll in my favor. It's about a 70% roll for me to kill him with Body Press. And I go ahead and risk that. I go ahead and click Body Press, and get the kill. So that's cool. Here comes Jolteon again. This time I'm just going to switch out as he clicks Thunder. I'm like, oh, wow. That's, okay. Like, that's risky, but whatever. So this time I do predict the Lando T to come in as he clicks Volt Switch and click the triple axle. And that does a decent chunk. So here, I'm like, I could switch out and try to save Hitmontop. But I'm just gonna see if he overpredicts and click triple axle again, which, and I thought maybe I could live. He just goes for Earthquake. That's fine. Looking back at it, maybe that was a misplay because Hitmontop could have actually potentially handled the Jolteon. But yeah, at this point, Jolteon's looking to be potentially an issue. But here, I just go ahead and switch out into the Suicune, and I'm going to set up a Calm Mind. He sets up Toxic. That miss. It kind of sucks because even though I had Rest, which could get it off, if he did get the Toxic, then I would be forced to rest, and Jolteon could come in and do more damage. But he does miss, and after I see the Toxic, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go for a Scald here. And I thought he was gonna click Toxic again, but he doesn't. So, kind of surprised by that, but it gives me the kill on Hatterene. Here, I'm kind of surprised that he goes into the Glastrier. It can't really touch me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set up another Calm Mind here. As he goes for the Swords Dance. I'm like, okay, this can do a decent amount of damage, but I have Scald, and hopefully he can get the burn. That does 40% decent amount, and he does a lot amount. So I know I'll be able to kill this, but Suicune's potentially going to end up low unless I get the burn, which I do this turn. Like, yes. It's a little bit haxy, but 2 shots at Scald, 30% each. There's a chance that's probably gonna burn. So now I'm able to kill this Glastrier with a decent amount of health left. So I don't know if Jolteon can kill or not. So he goes Thunder. I get paralyzed, and then I get fully paralyzed. That sucks. That was like a 5% chance that would happen, and it's super unfortunate because if I all I needed was some damage on Jolteon. So had I clicked this, had I broken through the para even and got the Scald off, that would have been pretty useful, and Tapu Koko would have had a good time. Fortunately, I don't, and I'm like, well, Suicune's kind of useless here. So I'm going to just click a move, hope he does something. I don't know. He said after the game that maybe he would have had a, like in the chat here, you'll see, he said that maybe he should have set up Rain Dance there and got greedy. I don't think setting up Rain Dance was the play. I think just killing it was, because if he had set up Rain Dance, I was just clicking Scald, and if I had broken through Paralysis, which I think is a 33% chance of fully paralysis, or maybe it's 25-ish now. It's one of those two. I either have a 67 or 75% chance of breaking through. Then I have a +2 Scald in the rain, and that's going to do a lot of damage to Jolteon. So I think killing it was the play. But yeah, so that happens. But now I get momentum to go ahead and switch in my Corviknight on the P2. So I'm just going to click a Bulk up here, and as he teleports, he goes to Jolteon. Yeah. Like I said, I needed damage, so that's why I just go for the body press. Thunder missed, that's what you can expect. It's only a 70% accurate move. Had it hit, I think I still would have lived and got damage off, which, like I said, that was really all I was going for. So now he does the Bolt Switch and does that damage as I go for the body press on the P2. Now I'm just going to roast up to try to get to as full health as possible. As he goes for the Psyshock. So I'm like, oh, is is that the best move he has to hit P2? I'm just going to go ahead and set up here then. Even though Jolteon is special, it's like, oh, my body press does more damage. I'll just set up and let the Toxic kill it. So that's what I do. I end up getting to +3/+3. So that's good. As he sends in the Jolteon here I'm just going to click, I think, body press again. Oh no, I clicked Iron Head. I think I may have predicted the Volt Switch and the Lando coming in here. I just go for a Roost to get up to health because I don't think Lando has anything that can really hit me. And turns out he has nothing that can hit me at all. So I'm just going to go for the Iron Head again here. And I think that's game because I think that I can live even a Thunder. And so I'm just going to go, he misses anyway. So I'm just going to go for Body Press here, kill Jolteon, and that's game. Even if he had killed the Corviknight though, Tapu Koko comes and clicks Gleam twice. I don't think Thunder could have killed my Tapu Koko. So a good game to Zicofool. That's a 3-0 win. We are now 2-1 and second place in our division. So next week we have a battle against T4U and the Boston Red Sox, which should be a good hard-fought game, and we'll see how that goes going forward. So overall 2-1 out of division play. That's not bad. We're on a little 2-game win streak, and we'll see if I can keep it up next week. See you guys later.